Hi there. Welcome to our first guided video on problem solving. This is part of the M1 assignment for MTH 101 online. It's the last tab on your Excel file that you're working in, and then you're going to submit for your weekly assignment. First general thought about problem solving is that everybody has a lot of practice being a problem solver. So one of the things we want to develop in math class is just a stronger sense of yourself as a problem solver. And today I just want to talk about two strategies that are very, very important to thinking about problem solving in general. It's not just for math class, but definitely applies to our math class. When problem solving, you want to break the problem into smaller pieces. So that just means that I'm looking at the problem and I'm thinking about solving pieces of the problem in order to get to the larger part. A lot of times students feel stuck when they see a problem, they don't know where to start. And so this strategy says it's okay to not be able to solve the entire thing at once, but to take a small part and focus on that. Another good strategy is to create sub-questions so that you can answer smaller, easier problems on your way to answering the larger question. So creating sub-questions and breaking the problem into smaller pieces are similar, related strategies, but sub-questions has a verbal component to it where you're thinking of a reframing of the larger question into smaller questions that are easier to solve. I want to do one example for you. Here's a real world problem. You want to know how much money you will earn in February. So I want to come up with some sub-questions. That's a real question. February hasn't happened yet. I don't know how much money I'm going to earn. I want you to pause and ask yourself, if I'm working an hourly job where I get paid for how many hours I work, how could I come up with an estimate of how much money I'm going to earn in February? Okay, hopefully you paused, gave yourself time to think about it, maybe wrote down a few sub-questions. I'm going to give you my sub-questions, and these are the ones that you should write into your guided notes. The first sub-question is, how much do I make an hour? So I would want to know what my hourly wage is. That's going to be very important. My second question is, how many hours will I work? Now, that second question is also kind of a big question because February has 28 days, 29 depending on the year. So I may want to have sub-questions for that question. I created two sub-questions for that second question. The first one is, how many hours do I work per shift? And the second is, how many shifts do I get a week? So if I answer how many hours do I work per shift, and that's may not be the same, and it may not be exactly the same number of hours every shift. So I would want to think of some like a typical shift. That gets a little bit into statistics, but we don't need to go there. And then how many shifts do I get a week? Well, I know that there's 4 weeks in February, so then I'll be able to scale up how many hours do I work per shift, how many shifts do I get a week, and figure out how many hours do I work total in February. With those two numbers, I'll be able to figure out how much money I earn, which was the larger problem we were trying to solve. Okay, be sure to answer the reflection question. You should have all of the material you need for filling in the guided notes. And then you're ready to submit your Module 1 assignment.